Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Chef Sahera, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how to make collard greens. Collard greens is all about the seasonings. If you want to know what seasonings I use to make the best tasting collard greens ever, keep watching. So for these collard greens, I'm using smoked turkey necks. Feel free to use any smoked meat that you like, but I'm going to use smoked turkey necks today. Once I rinse the turkey necks, I'm going to place them in a large pot with some water. Once I've added all of my turkey necks, I'm going to season it with some of the chicken flavored bouillon powder. If you have the cubes, that's fine also. You can also add a little bit of salt and pepper and garlic powder at this time. I'm going to let this boil for about 45 minutes on a medium to high heat. While that's boiling, I'm going to work on my collard greens. I've already removed the stem from my collard greens. So now what I do is take a few of the leaves, preferably the same size if you can, and I like to give them a tight roll and then I just slice them. You can slice your collard greens as thin or as thick as you like. I like to do this step before I rinse my collard greens. Once I've cut up all my collard greens, now I'm going to put them in a large pot with water. I want the water to cover my collard greens, and I'm adding some salt as well as some vinegar, and I let this sit for about 10 minutes and I rinse and I repeat. I do this about 3 times. So now it's time to add the collard greens to our pot. We're going to add the collard greens in batches because we can't add it all at once. So we add in batches, and each batch we want the collard greens to wilt down just a little bit. As you add the collard greens, you add as much as your pot will allow. You let that cook down for about 5 minutes. Once it wilts down, add more collard greens. And you do this until you have added all of your collard greens. You want to make sure once your collard greens have wilted down that you give them a nice turn. So now I sliced up an onion and I'm adding some of the onion to my pot, and I'm going to give that a quick stir. So you want your collard greens to cook down just a little bit, so you don't see that bright green color to it. And now we're going to come in with our seasoning. So I'm using a little bit of my favorite seasoning, my Sazon Goya seasoning. I'm also using some vinegar. It's not shown here. I'm using regular vinegar, but also you want to add a little bit of balsamic vinegar. Trust me, the balsamic vinegar definitely gives your greens a kick. I'm adding some garlic powder. I'm also adding some seasoned salt. Some black pepper. I'm also adding some hot sauce. Depending on how spicy you like it. I know people make collard greens so many different kind of ways. You can also add like a Scotch bonnet pepper, a liquid Scotch bonnet pepper. And something that I never make collard greens without is some of my liquid smoke. You definitely need to add a little bit of liquid smoke to your collard greens. We're going to give that a toss, stir that up good, and let that just kind of simmer on medium. And let those flavors just start to come together. I also added just a little bit of sugar. And I'm also adding some butter. We're going to stir that up also. And let those flavors just start to come together. And you want to make sure you taste your collard greens. It's all about the taste. So we add a lot of seasonings because the collard greens hold so much water. So you just want to give that a taste. After tasting it, I feel like I can use a little bit more of everything. So I'm adding more of all of my seasonings. I'm also adding some of the chicken flavored bouillon powder. Again, just a little bit of everything. Some more garlic powder, some more liquid smoke. You're gonna wanna add more vinegar. I promise you, you're always gonna wanna add some more vinegar. You wanna make sure you season your collard greens really well, because if not, sometimes they could be too bitter. You also wanna make sure that you cook them enough so that they're not hard or too tough, right? But you also don't wanna overcook them where they're kind of mushy. I would say that you're gonna cook these collard greens for at least an hour, constantly stirring your greens and tasting. That's it, guys. A very easy, simple collard green recipe. The thing that takes the longest time is cutting your collard greens up. You can buy collard greens in a bag. I find the collard greens in a bag that are already cut up have way too many stems in it. So I don't like the stem, but that is something that you can do. So if you have any questions on how to make these collard greens, let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out when I upload a new video. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.